working environment. The Macintosh environment is very much like any Windows, IBM Windows environment. However, a few things are different. One, if you'll notice your keyboard, next to the spacebar there's a command key. In all of our handouts and work, the command key will work most like the control key if you're familiar with the IBM environment. Most students, I think, will be fine with this. Just be aware that command is the key we'll use on the Mac. If you happen to have an IBM with the software for this course, then any of the handouts that refer to the command key, simply transpose that to control key. Now, to begin with the desktop environment, you'll notice you have the desktop background, which can be customized. We'll talk about that a little bit later. You'll notice usually in the upper right, you'll find the name of the computer. You'll find a spotlight or search feature. Any applications or connectivity are in the bar at the upper right. You have your wireless connections, Bluetooth, things of that nature. Your sound preferences as well. The drives that are connected to the computer on mine right now are Passport, Book, and Let's See Mac. Also, there's a desktop folders, files folder. The Let's See Mac is the folder or drive, excuse me, that I will be using in this example as an external drive to save files to. You will note that if you have your own Macintosh, you may save your files to the Documents folder, which if you go to your dock, which is usually the lower part of the screen, you'll notice there's a Documents window, which will allow you to save things there. If you double-click the Let's See, you'll notice that you have a browser window for that. Looks a little bit like an internet browser window. Again, your devices are located here. You will see that I have a folder already created, Art205GO, and there is an Art205 ID primer, that's InDesign primer. We will open that in the next example. But again, you can also find on the hard drive, if you go to the Home category, which this has my name on it, you will find different folders and files. You can find public folders, pictures, music, movies. The screen recording I'm doing right now will be saved to movies. Anything you download from the internet generally goes to your downloads, unless you have specified something differently. If you would like to change the way you view your files, you may click on the Icons button. You may click on the List view, the Columns view, or the Scrolling view, floating folders. And this allows you to do a more graphic, animated form. You can also sort your files by the names. You can sort them by application that was used to create them. You can sort them by modified date. And again, the look changes depending on where you are. If you're in the list view, you may change the sorting just by clicking the header. Now, to copy a file to a drive, you may drag it into that drive, or if you prefer, if you would like to put it into a particular folder, you can click, hold, and drag to that folder, allow that folder to open, and then the file has been copied. So now we have a copy of the comp CD cover in both locations. And then to close the window, we hit the red button. This is much like the close button on the far right in the Windows environment, the IBM environment. The yellow is the minimize, and what the minimize does is it lowers the window into the bottom right corner. Simply clicking on it will re-maximize it. And then the green button will optimize the window view, toggle between the two different size views. Again, the red button is to close. Notice in the Finder we have the preferences for that. You can also create new file window, or open a new file window, or create a new folder. If you create a new folder at this point, it appears on the desktop. If you decide you don't want that one, you would just like to delete it, you simply drag it to the trash in the lower right. If you need to do a new Finder window, open that up. Then, by clicking New Folder, it creates the new folder inside of that window. Then you simply click, and don't double click, just click and let go, and it will allow you to name the folder. And we could call this Art205GO as well, if we need one in this location. In the Go window, you can connect to networks, you can open your computer window, you can go to several different files. Connecting to server also, if you have several Macintosh computers on one network, or even an IBM server, you can connect to that given a user ID and password. And then recent folders, it will show you where you have been recently. Again, the views can be changed here, or it's much easier to change them in the viewing window. Edit, again, this window looks very much like an IBM window. Cut and copy and paste are pretty much the same. And the icon for command looks like a for-loop infinity symbol. That is the command symbol. The up arrow is a shift key, so these are your shortcut for these. So if you need to undo anything at any time, the last thing you did is Command Z. That works in all programs. This concludes this primer, and if you have any questions, please contact me via email at puckett.mc.edu.